Hi, I'm Rob from Sidewinder Drums, and this is the build video for the oak Celtic weave snare drum. At this point, I'm putting the staves in order like they will be on the drum. It's important that the grain patterns match up nicely and looks visually appealing. Now I'm attaching the staves in order to tape. This way I can roll it up, test it, make sure it's the right exact size in the end, and if everything's good, I will leave it on that tape and glue it up. Now I'm measuring to make sure it is exactly 14 inches, actually a smidge less so the drum head will go around it, and that it's truly round. And it's glue up time. I'll put a layer of glue on each side of the stave, then use my handy dandy putty knife to spread out evenly to get a nice clean seal. And the last step of the glue up process is to clamp it up, hold it nice and tight. I use giant hose clamps, which technically are AC ducting clamps, but they're the same thing. 3 of them, one in the bottom, middle, and top. And we'll let it set overnight after this has been done. And here's a shot of my big toe and the drum glue setting up on my garage floor overnight. And now we move to the CNC machine. Each rotation it's taking off 20 thousandths of an inch from left to right, or 200ths of an inch. It'll go on like this quite a while. That was actual speed, and here I sped it up quite a bit because we don't want to watch that for 45 minutes as it actually does the process. It does take quite a while for this smoothing process, but the good thing is when you take so little off each pass, it comes off really smooth. So it takes little to no sanding actually at this point. So even though it takes longer now, it saves time later. And here the machine is carving the Celtic weave pattern. It's using a V-point 60-degree bit, so there's a point on the end of that router bit, and it's angled out at 60 degrees. Now the CNC is going to drill the holes for the lugs. If you're doing this by hand, it can take a long time to get this perfect and do this right. The machine is exact, does a great job. This is the actual speed right now. I'll speed it up here in just a second so you can see the whole process. Now the CNC is putting the top and bottom edge on the drum. It'll cut about 1/3 of an inch down, not all the way through, because if you cut all the way through, it'll fall off the jig. So kind of important not to cut all the way through here. This step, the CNC is rounding the top and the bottom edges of the drum. It's using a V-point 1/8 inch roundover bit, so it's only an 1/8 of an inch radius, so it's a pretty tight roundover edge on this drum. If you remember earlier in the process, the CNC put an edge on the top and the bottom of the drum 1/3 of an inch down. Now we're going to use a flush trim router bit to finish getting that edge clean all the way around the drum. My video from skimming the inside of the drum, or rounding the inside, didn't turn out, so I have some still shots to show the process. As you can see, the drum wraps around the gantry, and then the router will move through the drum as the drum is turning. Same process as the outside, gives a nice smooth finish.